I am Clarinda Vail, and I'm a lifelong resident here in Tusayan, and I also have the great honor of being Tusayan's mayor right now. Tusayan is right by the entrance of the south rim of the Grand Canyon National Park, so we're situated in a very unique place right by a wonder of the world here. And we have, depends on the year, but up to 2019, we have up to 6 million visitors a year. So we're a very small community with only about 560 residents here and serving up to 6 million people a year, and about 2,000 or so in the park. Right now, we are in an era of having wells here in Tusayan. In years past, all water was hauled to Tusayan, like in the 70s and the 80s. It was really kind of the late 80s before the first well actually went in. We have to be very mindful of our water use here. I just know with any type of hat, as a resident here, as the mayor here, I don't want to have a negative impact to the seeps and springs of my neighbors. So I think if you spend any kind of time in the Grand Canyon, you really have a respect for the seeps and springs, and knowing how, especially in drought times, in any time really, in the canyon, it's not plentiful. I feel very passionate about that. All of my neighbors, a lot of the entities here with federal, a lot of the players change often. And with the folks that have been here a very long time, and especially our tribal neighbors, they don't change. I'm thrilled that we agree on so many points on other impacts for uranium mining in the area that could affect our water, and on just that we don't want to, do anything that could greatly affect their everything, their way of life long before a lot of us or our families were maybe even in this country. That it's very important that we be very, very respectful to the water in this entire area. I think one of the primary concerns is the unknowns with possible future development that can happen in this area. Even if entities say this is how we would like to do it, they're not required to. So they might propose things that maybe they think are a little more palatable to certain people. But with the way that water laws are in Arizona right now, nobody can really hold them to it. A lot of small towns seem like we are looking for some help and some direction, from the state to say how much is too much. People, they want to encourage economic development in their towns. I understand that completely. But we also have to be sure that the ones that are there, we can continue to provide water. And it doesn't seem like for a lot of the rural areas, there's any plan. Just since I've become mayor, learned more than just outside of my little region. And it has not made me any less concerned. It's only made me more and more concerned of realizing how it's just really somewhat of a free-for-all in the rural areas. I think the most significant thing that has been done to address some of the water challenges here is what the Tusayan Sanitary District has done. Since 1988, anything that was developed in Tusayan was required to be double plumbed. And that means reclaimed water comes to all the potties and it goes to all the landscaping. And a long time ago, there was hopes that might reduce potable water 30 to 50%. On any average, it's more like 60 to 70% that we have reduced potable water. I would just like to see some other, rural management authority or some other. I've heard a variety of, of different versions, but a lot of people, and including myself, that have all the right intentions and want to serve their community as very best they can. We are not water experts. We are not hydrologists. And right now I feel like it's just kind of everyone kind of doing their own thing. We're kind of operating a little bit like the Wild West, I think. And I don't think we can do it anymore with water in Arizona. We've got to put everyone first, and our entire population first, rather than just what our needs are for our own town. We've really got to be thinking regionally. And I feel like often the rural areas kind of get forgotten, and really a lot of the rural areas are what are driving our tourism economy in Arizona. And they might wind up in Phoenix, But if we don't have any water to give them while they're in Flagstaff or Williams or Grand Canyon or Page or Kingman, they're just going to quit coming. And so I'm hopeful that, with our legislature and just all the elected officials that are working towards it, that maybe we can actually maybe get a little action, because definitely we're in a lot more emergent situation than I think than for sure that I've ever seen, and maybe that we've ever seen since we've been a country of the droughts in the West.